She has decided that she wants to trademark a word that is 476 years old as hers in the broadcast of her new podcast, which I guess is going to hit this summer. The word is archetype. Archetype. It's something you would use, for example, you might say, in any given, I don't know, crime drama, you could have the villain, the hero, the consoler. Those are archetypes that we are sort of familiar with. She wants to use it in the context of women, Dan, because she's a champion for female empowerment. And the statement is that she wants to address the labels and stereotypes that try to hold women back. And then the articles add, in our patriarchal society. So she's going to fight the patriarchy after giving up her entire career, her religion, her country, and her family for a guy.
Yes. You might say, Megyn, this is an archetypal Meghan Markle move because it's just crass, isn't it? It's crass commercialization that makes no sense. It's like you're making your tens of millions of dollars from Spotify. You don't have to try and own a word. It reminds me, Megyn, when Victoria Beckham, the Spice Girl, who's nicknamed Posh Spice, tried to trademark the word posh, and she was roundly condemned for it because it's ridiculous. I can use the word archetype in whatever context I want to, I'm afraid, Megyn. But it just shows you how bad their advice is and how they're surrounded by this sort of ridiculous Hollywood types who think like celebrities. And I feel like Meghan's rebrand is just to say, I'm a victim. And she's about as far from a victim as you could possibly get.
Mm-hmm. I think it's bad because, to me, all right, I have a saying, and I say it to my kids all the time. It's about the people who brag about how much money they have or how smart they are or whatever it is. The 7-foot center doesn't tell you how tall he is. There's a reason for that. He doesn't have to. And they're trying to use like the fancy word to make her sound smart, like she knows something. The regular people here in America, Lowe's are like, archetype, Archie? Is it an Archie type? What is it? Even I was like, what is that? Why don't you ever use that word? I had to look it back up just to remind myself. What is she trying to say? That's a bad sign. You want it to be relatable to as many people as possible, unless your name is Meghan Markle, where you've spent your whole life trying to be less relatable to the common man and woman. You want them to feel that you are above them, smarter than they are, richer than they are, and now at the same time, more of a victim than they are. And I wonder, Dan, whether there's any appetite from people here or in Great Britain to listen to this woman talk about how hard it is to be female.
Absolutely not. And what I found so hilarious, Megyn, was when the other Meghan, the Meghan we don't like, who spells her name funny, unlike you, said, oh, goodness me, maybe I'm going to have to leave Spotify unless they sack Joe Rogan.
Yes.
And obviously Spotify said, hang on a moment.
Take care.
Joe Rogan ain't going anywhere. And
Cheerio.
So Megyn very quickly said, well, in that case, okay, I'm okay with it. Because... Look, they need the moolah. They need the big bucks. This is all about the greenback. So they can be as pious and virtue signaling as they want. But actually, when push comes to shove, Meghan will share a platform with Joe Rogan because she needs the money.
She would share a platform with anyone as long as the check cleared. Who is she kidding? The statement from their spokesperson basically said, well, the release of this podcast was originally delayed due to concerns over Spotify's role in spreading misinformation, in particular with respect to COVID. I'd love to talk to her. Name three facts. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be misinformation. Tell me 3 facts about COVID at all. Let's see if you get them right. You know what? I'll give it to you multiple choice. You click the one you think is right, Miss Backup, Howie Mandel, I opened the suitcase girl spokesmodel. She doesn't know anything about anything. She literally knows nothing about anything.
Megyn, how dare Megyn accuse Joe Rogan of misinformation? She is the queen of misinformation. You remember the Oprah interview? She even lied about when she got married, For God's
Yes,
sake,
it's
the
true.
interview was literally 2 hours of misinformation. So
Dan,
to me,
your misogyny
the
is
biggest
showing.
irony is Meghan lambasting anyone about misinformation. It's just, it's laughable now. It's actually laughable, and we see through it.
It's so true. I've had just about enough of these two. And by the way, just one other small point. They, on their website, women, the very women who choose not to leave their country and their religion and their husband and everything that they hold dear, abandon their entire family so that they can marry a rich guy in Britain, which was her goal from the beginning, as we've discussed in our other episodes. Okay, she wants to lecture those women about how to empower themselves. So we do not need her advice. But on her website, last week, our friends at the National Women's Law Center released a new report providing a timely snapshot of the continuing multifaceted impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on women and mothers, and then in particular women and mothers who are black and brown and so on, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't have friends at the National Women's Law Center. She doesn't have friends. Beyonce's not her friend. George Clooney's not her friend. Oprah's not her friend. Gail's not her friend. All of these people showed up at the royal wedding and go on her stupid website and do her little PSAs for the only reason she got married to Harry, because it's access to the royal family and it makes them feel somehow better, smarter, more fabulous. That's all that's going on now there. And these people, like, the use of my friend, bull. To me, it's so pathetic that, like, she did abandon all of her friends and all of her family for these people she doesn't know at all, and she's still referring to them as like her friends. She doesn't know these people, and they don't know her.
She wasn't friends with Oprah and Gail King, who wanted nothing to do with her when she was a D-list actress on Suits. They became interested when she got it on with Prince Harry. And look,
Yes.
I've actually got to know Meghan's family really well over the past few years, and her father Thomas and her sister Samantha, to me, are good, ordinary Americans. I'm not saying they haven't made a few mistakes, Meghan, but anyone who is thrust into that sort of worldwide spotlight are going to make a few mistakes. But I'm a good judge of character, and they are good, honest people. And I just cannot believe that Meghan won't drive down that highway to Mexico, a couple of hours, and at the very least, just allow her dad to meet his grandson and granddaughter. I just say shame on you, Meghan.
Yep. No relationship with the grandparents on either side, even though one of them is the Queen of England. Okay, so that tells you something. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.